thanks for joining us here on a very special April 25th edition of Cronkite Sports Live. Before we get to the sports, I want to note a very special birthday. That's right, on this day, an undisclosed number of years ago, the great Simpsons voice actor Hank Azaria was born. Oh, you thought I was going to say something else. Okay, well, also, this is the birthday of Al Pacino and the U.S. patent for the thimble. And it's the day that our very own Jason Chesler made his debut in this great world. And then only a few short decades later, he made his debut here at the Cronkite Sports Live desk. It's Cronkite Sports Live. I'm Kyler. He's Jason, filling in for Trey. Let's get for the sports. Well, it's hard to tell here in the Valley of the Sun exactly when one season starts and another ends. I can usually only discern two seasons, which I describe as pleasant and the eternal hellfire of 10,000 evils. Though I sometimes call that latter anybody that lives in this scorched wasteland must be insane. Another way to tell which season the livable portion of the hemisphere is experiencing is by whether or not the Sun Devils are playing football, and if they are, against whom they are playing. If it's against each other, why? It must be the annual spring football game. And if it's the annual spring football game, why? It must be spring. Here to tell us all about the game and other exciting developments with Sun Devil football, Jake Gaydon and Sam Rabati.
Thanks, Kyler. Sam Rabati, Jake Gaydon. We're going to jump right into it for you. ASU football had their annual spring game last Saturday. Who really impressed you for the Sun Devils?
You know, for me, it was DeAndre Lewis, and Sun Devil fans should be happy to hear this. DJ Foster will be the #1 running back coming in, but the backup position looks to be solidified by DeAndre Lewis. You know, during that spring game, showed great explosiveness, ran great through, great inside during through the tackles, and showed explosiveness outside. So DeAndre Lewis really caught my attention during that spring game.
Well, they have a dynamic duo of Foster and Lewis, just like last year with Grice and Foster. We'll see if they can be as explosive as they were this past year. All right, now still keeping it here in the spring. For all the spring games, for all the spring practices, who really impressed you the most throughout the whole entire spring?
You know, for me, it's a 17-year-old, DJ Calhoun. Todd Graham loves this guy, loves his energy, loves his physicality. DJ Calhoun fits kind of the prototypical spur position that the Sun Devils play on defense, where you have to be quick enough, just like a safety, but physical enough, just like a linebacker. And DJ Calhoun does just exactly that, and during that spring game, look phenomenal as well.
Well, it's pretty incredible because he is younger than basically everybody on this CSL cast. So big things coming out of this 17-year-old. All right, now just going to look a little forward to the fall. One of the best recruiting classes coming in for the Sun Devils in recent memory. Who's got to really make that immediate impact for the Sun Devils?
Let's go ahead and start on the offense. Let's go with two wide receivers, Eric Lauderdale and Tyler Wiley. Should really help this offense that kind of struggled to consistently gain yardage through the air. So look for these two wide receivers to come in and really help Jalen Strong and this passing attack, coupled with DJ Foster and DeAndre Lewis. This looks like a scary offense. And defensively, let's go straight to the defensive line, where Connor Humphreys and Tayshawn Smallwood should really help a defensive line that lost Will Sutton, and a defense that lost 9 starters. So a lot to look forward to for Sun Devil fans.
So the offense really filling holes with the wide receivers, the defense filling holes at the defensive end and defensive tackles. It's going to be a great year for the Sun Devils. Can't wait for the fall. For Sam Rabati, I'm Jake Gaydon. Let's send it back to Jason Chesler at the desk for some softball.
Hey, thanks a lot, Jake. I'm excited to see if ASU football can make the leap next year, become a national power. I'm also just excited to see them play real opponents. One Sun Devil squad that's already a national power and is playing real opponents is ASU softball. Yes, Dowpal, the #selfie queen, and Wild Thing might not be the best Twitter users out there, more on that in Tweets of the Week, but they are dominant on the field. The Sun Devils sit at 38-7, and I think that'll do. ASU will be taking on Southern Mississippi in their last regular season non-conference series this weekend, with all 3 games being streamed on the Pac-12 Digital, which, hey, is staffed by WCSN, Tech, and Talent. Tonight's first pitch will be at 7 o'clock, and I'm just now receiving word that there will not be a pregame ceremony for my birthday. That's a shame. That's a real shame.
Hey, don't count your chickens, Jason. You can always be surprised. Well, Sun Devil baseball is about to head into a crucial stretch of the season as they begin a 3-game series with rival Arizona in Tucson tonight at 7 p.m., followed by some tough out-of-conference games, including a number of tricky road trips. It's been an up-and-down season for Coach Tim Esme and the Devils, and in some ways, the ups and downs have come down to the fundamentals. To tell us more about how ASU can get on top of the ball as they head into the home stretch, we'll send it out to the field for a very special demonstration with our baseball experts, Dominic Contronio and Jacob Garcia. Gentlemen.
All right, thank you, Kyler. Well, here with Jake Garcia, I'm Dominic Cotronio. Now, ASU's defense has really been struggling lately, and for a team that really prides itself in the freebie war, as Coach Esme likes to say, they are 7-11 when they commit 2 or more errors in a game. And Jake, one of the guys that they really look for in their glove is Colby Woodmansey.
Yeah, exactly. And you look at Colby Woodmansey's fielding percentage at .928 in Pac-12 play, and you say, hey, it's not that bad, especially for a freshman shortstop. But if you look a little bit deeper, over the last 4 games for the Sun Devils, Woodmansey has made an error in 3 of those. The problem even extends a little bit beyond him. As an entire collective group, the Sun Devils have made 13 errors in their past 5 games. That was 5 against Cal, and now they're on a current streak of 4 games in which they've made 2 errors. Completely unacceptable if you're Coach Tim Esme.
And you mentioned that Cal game, a 5-3 victory for the Golden Bears. Those 2 deciding runs in extra innings, both unearned runs. So the Sun Devils, they've had a carousel going on right now in the middle infield. Drew Stankiewicz will be going back to shortstop, his normal position, as Tucker Esme will re-enter the lineup at second base. Jordan Boydus has seen time at short, and obviously Colby Woodmansey, even David Greer as well, another freshman. But now, what's really giving them trouble is a couple of different plays, and it's difficult for any baseball player to make. First, Jake, you're going to tell us about the in-between hop.
Yeah, exactly. The in-between hop is really something that can be avoided by just charging the ball. Coming and dictating your hop instead of letting the ball control you is probably the biggest fundamental aspect of fielding an in-between hop. But sometimes, though, you're going to have to let the ball kind of play you. Biggest way to avoid that and kind of combat that issue is to have soft hands. And what I mean by that is having your palm of your glove out and then collecting into your body so it doesn't eat you up, so you don't feel the ball in here by your chest, which allows the ball to hit off you and go into center field. So 2 things to pay attention to: good footwork and soft hands, 2 biggest things when fielding a short hop.
All right, man, show us how it's done.
Let's go.
Does it. That's all you got to do. Now, the second hop that they have a lot of trouble with is charging a ball. Now, that's another way that you can avoid that in-between hop by charging a slow rolling ball and making them play on the run at first. We've seen Jordan Boydus and even Colby Woodmansey. You have a little bit of trouble with this at short because they're trying to make the throw on the run as fast as they can. It's about setting your feet, making sure you make the transfer as easy as possible, the soft hands again, and just keep on moving and make sure you stay balanced. This is where the balance really comes in the sport of baseball. Well, here's how it's done. And that's what ASU baseball has to do better. But for Jake Garcia, I'm Dominic Cotronio. Now we'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
This is our social media segment, Tweets of the Week. I'm your social media expert, and I look good today. Now, what exactly makes me an expert? I get asked that all the time. I would say it's because I have less than 1,000 tweets. Nobody here at Cronkite Sports Live follows me, and while I tweet strictly about the Philadelphia Flyers and the Phoenix public transportation system, sounds like I'm league ready. Former Sun Devil Jahi Carson thinks he's league ready, so much so in fact that he's become sort of an expert on Twitter about it. He's taken the Raptors, he's got the Rockets, he's got the Mavs. He thinks he knows everything about NBA basketball. He's also the guy who will tweet afterwards when he's right.
Yeah. So here's the thing about, excuse me, here's the thing about all of these, because I follow Jahi as well. These come like midway through the 4th quarter when the Raptors or the Mavs are up. Like, you know, I know he's saying I'm taking them for the series, and all right, okay, that's fair. But, you know, come on, give us some pre-series picks, Jahi.
But my point, why doesn't Jahi Carson know everything about the NBA? I think
He's
he
been
does.
right every
He's
time.
right. He's right.
Yeah,
You
but the
can't
thing is-
argue with results.
But then he comes up and tells you that he's right. We didn't show those tweets, but he's telling you, hey, I called the Raptors. Thanks, Jahi. We know that you're that kind of NBA fan. Now, we're in the business of making people laugh here in this segment, but we're also in the business of making people feel good. So we want to give some nice props to Tucker Esme, Sun Devil second baseman. He has his fiance tweeted this picture out for him of him and his son, hard at work. He's a student, a baseball player. He's got his fiance and he's got his son. We just want to give props to Tucker Esme. He's out there grinding.
Listen, Tucker, I feel you, buddy. I am also a student. I'm not also a baseball player, however.
No. I was going to say, reminds me of a regular Kyler Meade out there.
Yep.
I think we all aspire to be Kyler Meade.
Not me.
Evidently, Tucker Esme does. He's only got 1 kid. Step it up a notch, son.
Give him some time, Kyler. All right, our last tweet of the week comes with Herb Sendak. We've mentioned Herb quite a bit on this show. Herb, was out to eat last weekend. He throwing up the pitchfork at Sapporo. My only question is, does that guy in the picture have any idea who Herb Sendek is?
Do we have any idea who Herb Sendek is?
This is the question that needs to be asked.
I thought I knew. I thought I understood Coach
Valid.
Sendek, and then he started hashtag Coach Herb. He started tweeting more.
Let me say, that is the happiest I've ever seen Herb Sendek. Maybe he's found a new calling.
I think so.
I don't think so. Herb, stick to the basketball court.
Ooh. That's
Ouch.
cruel. That's cruel. Like, I feel like when I see Coach Herb Sendek tweet, I feel like parts of my life are a lie. Like, if Coach Herb Sendek is doing that at Sparrows, what am I doing with my life?
I appreciate the joy in his face when he sees that. He's got the forks up, and I don't know, again, who knows if that guy knows who Coach Sendek is, but maybe that's for the best. Maybe that's what we need, is just people liking us for us.
Exactly. Coach Sendek
Thanks,
teaching
Brian.
us something we could all learn. If there's one Twitter user I love to hear from, it's really just hashtag Coach Herb. But apparently, Coach Herb Sendek does more than just tweet. He also coaches basketball when he's not Sparrows, that is. ASU men's basketball, to be precise. The Sun Devils are seeing plenty of turnover in that department, and all the players joining and leaving and saying they're leaving, but no, they're actually staying. They're giving us plenty to talk about. Here to break it all down for us is WCSN basketball analyst Gavin Shaw. Hey, Gavin, welcome to the anchor desk.
I'm enjoying it.
He's not Kyler Meade. Don't be surprised.
Yep,
He may
I'm-
say he is. Now, 2 new additions just announced to this Sun Devil squad next season. We have Savon Goodman as well as Willie Atwood. Give me a little scouting report on these two guys, Gavin.
Well, Goodman might immediately be the best finisher on this ASU basketball team. That's saying something, given that Shaq McKissick is still on the roster this year. Another surprise. But what Goodman does really well, Jason, is he's a great face-up player. He puts together multiple jab steps, and then he sets up his drives. He starts off hitting a couple of jumpers, and then he goes to the rim and finishes with power. He's going to be someone who can come in and immediately have a big impact. He already played for UNLV. He was really good on the defensive end there. And actually, his former junior college coach, Barrett Peary, is now an ASU assistant, so he's going to know the system if nothing else. The other guy you mentioned, Willie Atwood, he just signed yesterday, and he's someone who's one skill that will definitely translate to the D1 level, and that's getting to the free throw line. He had one game last year, Jason, 33 of 37 on free throws. Just completely ridiculous. Something he has to work on a little bit. When he gets the ball to shoot a jumper, he tends to bring it down before going up. He's a very quick release, but he's not going to get a chance to use it against top-notch competition if he keeps doing that. So that's something he definitely has to work on. At the very least, he could be a top 3 scorer on this ASU team next year.
And hey, 37 free throws reminds me of a little James Harden, some Kevin Durant.
Better.
A couple of 4-point plays wouldn't be bad for the Sun Devils. Those 2 recruits join a total of 6, that's those fingers, new additions for the Sun Devils next year, Gavin. Which of those 6 new players is going to be the biggest addition to the Sun Devil squad?
Well, Jason, you and I both know Coach Herb Sendek's track record. It has to be a guard, and that guard is Jerry Blakes, the JC transfer, a smooth 6'4" lefty. He is something that Jahi Carson doesn't in that size. He's someone who can get to the rim, and once he gets there, he doesn't necessarily blow by people, but he's able to finish creatively, and then if he's not open, pass the ball out to the perimeter, maybe get Jonathan Gilling or Shaq McKissick involved. He's, a lot of people think, the reason that Kalen Robinson transferred, so he's definitely going to be a big part of the offense next season.
That's it. Jerry Blake's not just impacting on the court, but hey, he's impacting our coverage, making guys leave. So how will all of these new players, Jerry Blake's, the new Jahi Carson, you heard it here first, how will they impact the schemes that Coach Sendek's going to be running when he's not at Sparrows?
Well, they're not going to, oh yeah, that's a big deal. But when he's, they're not necessarily going to change what Coach Sendek is doing. They're going to just intensify a lot of the directions he's been going. For example, earlier in Coach Sendek's tenure, he had a tendency to play really slow. Last year, they were 55th in the country in possessions per game, and I think that's only going to go up. They have all these long, athletic guys, Jason. They're going to want to put more pressure on defense, maybe press a little bit more. And with all these athletic, long players, Atwood 6'8", Goodman 6'6", they're going to be able to switch everything on the pick and roll. And I think even without Jordan Baczynski's rim protection, this defense is going to be even more imposing next season.
Well, that'll certainly be interesting to keep our eye on. Thanks a lot, Gavin. If we know one thing about this ASU basketball squad, besides that they're great on Twitter, is that there'll be an adventure next season.
That's right, guys. And you know, I have only 3 requests for the Sun Devils next season. I've been very upfront about them. All of them are more Bo Barnes. From the court to the field we go as Brett Deckert changes clothes and teleports out of the studio to update us on the postseason preparations of the unbeaten Sun Devil lacrosse team. Oh, what's that? Oh, I'm being told Brett is in fact still here in the studio with us, that he recorded his package earlier and that teleportation has not yet been invented. It takes a bit of the shine off of this, but one way or another, here's Brett Deckert.
Perfection may exist on the stat sheet, but you'd be hard-pressed to find even an undefeated team that thinks they can improve on the field. So for the Arizona State Sun Devils, with a 0 hanging in their loss column at the end of the regular season, they still know they're far from a finished product.
We need to get better. We can be better shooters, we can be better communicators. I mean, essentially we can be better in everything that we do, and we need to raise the bar for these next 3 weeks.
The Sun Devils finished the season at 14-0. That's a record that secured them the top seed and a first-round bye at the Southwestern Lacrosse Conference Championships next weekend, meaning they have an empty schedule for a whole 2 weeks. They're using that time to practice with a purpose.
Our goal is to play 4 games in 6 days for this national tournament. And we got to make sure we're in the best shape we can possibly be in.
This week, the Sun Devils find themselves running those dreaded sprints more than usual, and that's in response to their captains calling for more intensity in practice. They haven't slipped up in a game all season, but of course they're not taking any chances with the postseason right around the corner.
That's why you have captains, that's why you have seniors, that's why you have upperclassmen. Got to make sure these guys come focused to play, and one of the things we talk about every week, every month is when you come through this gate to come onto this field, it's about lacrosse. Don't come through the gate until you're ready to play.
They've been to 3 consecutive MCLA Final Fours and 4 of the previous 5. So the Sun Devils, they've been here before. They're simply hoping that this year's break will help bring them that much closer to achieving their goal of a full perfect season. Oh, and of course, a new streak of 1 national championships. For Cronkite Sports Live, I'm Brett Deckert.
Hey, excellent package and another excellent outfit. Kudos to Brett Deckert on not just 1, but 2 great outfits in one show. Now, I like lacrosse in part because, well, a lot of the players, they don't make me feel that short. ASU midfielder Kyle Denis being an obvious exception. Now, ASU volleyball, on the other hand, they have the height that I expect to see, but only if I crane my neck up enough. The Sun Devils are pretty close to wrapping up their first season of sand volleyball action, and WCSN's Josh Franz and Zach Pockliv have an update on ASU's newest NCAA sport.
Thanks, Jason. That's right. It's time to talk some ASU women's volleyball. The Sun Devils Sand Squad is 5-5. Their last game of the season today at 4 o'clock against Boise State. But Zach, let's backtrack just a little bit to the indoor season. They ended on a bit of a disappointing note. How were they able to transition from that into their inaugural sand volleyball season?
Well, they were very open-minded, very loose coming into the sand season, which is important because although they're both volleyball, the games are very different, and that's because of the rule differences. Obviously, the first big difference is the fact that it's 2-on-2 in the sand and not 6-on-6. It's very important to communicate with your partner when you only have one other player to play with. If you're on the different pages, you're not going to score points, you're going to make errors.
Right, and communication was a big thing. Let's see if they can translate that into the indoor season and better their chances next year. But what are some other skills that they can take from the sand and bring in the gym next year?
Well, first of all, the sand is tremendous physically for any volleyball player. It improves the smaller muscles. It makes them quicker to the ball. They'll jump higher. But they were very pleased talking to the players, talking to Coach Watson yesterday, very pleased with how their defensive skills have developed. Players like Brielle Bailey and Whitney Follett, who really didn't get a chance to play that much defense during the indoor season, now get to pass and serve receive, now get to handle balls, to dig balls, and players like Bianca Ariano, the setter, she really was able to play aggressively at the net, swing hard, which she didn't get to do when she was setting in the indoor season. So overall, they were very pleased with how well-rounded the team will be now in the fall.
Right, there's nowhere to hide in the sand.
Exactly.
Everybody's going to be playing everywhere and getting all the reps.
Everybody loves playing sand. Any volleyball player loves playing in the sand.
No, we don't all love playing in the sand. It's harder to jump, it's harder to move.
I understand. I can jump, though.
I like the floor, the springs under the gym floor to make
it.
You're right, I do. But that'll do it for us, and that's all we'll debate. But now let's send it over to Brett Deckert and have the anchors debate sports.
Here's our debate segment. Fortunately, we won't be debating which of my outfits were better. That'd be far too difficult. Let's knock out the first question. ASU versus U of A. The Territorial Cup hits Tucson this weekend on the Diamond. Who's taking the series?
All right, now I need this cut to me because, see that? There it is. I'm sweeping. Oh, more shoveling. Sweeping is what I was going for. ASU 3-0. Their starting pitching is going. They have the weekend starters going all weekend, not a midweek matchup like the first 2 meetings of Territorial Cup baseball. And hey, I believe in pitching and defense. And if they just listen to Jake Garcia and Dominic Contronio, they'll be able to play defense.
I would like to agree with you. I'm going to say 2 out of 3. I wouldn't be at all surprised if it were a sweep, and here's why. The ASU UA have split the series 1-1. In both of those games, Seth Martinez was the pitcher. They're going to have a slightly better pitching staff going. However, ASU blows games.
All right, well, I'm going to give the points to Kyler because, Jason, you mentioned Jake and Dom's baseball prowess. Did you see their throwing motions? I gestured. I wouldn't merit their expectations really much. All right, let's go for number 2 here. Craig Nicholson, this is his first season for the Sun Devils on the softball diamond. How is he doing so far? Has he exceeded expectations? Go ahead.
Listen, I'm going to start off here. I don't know exactly what the expectations were. It's difficult with a new coach, but he did have an entire team, basically, of returners. I'll say 39-7. He's only lost 7 games. Some of those were to very, very good teams. I'll say yes. He's just barely exceeded expectations. We'll really know at the end of the season, depending on where they end up in the run to the College World Series.
I'm going to push on this one. I think that he has met expectations. Sure, it's hard to argue with a 39-7 record, but hey, this team slumped. And when you're expected to compete and probably expected to win a national championship, you're not really allowed to slump. The fact that people were calling for his head at one point during the season, I think he can exceed expectations.
All right, points will go to Jason because I partly agree, and otherwise because it's his birthday and I need brownie points. Speaking of which birthdays, the third question, I'm a bad friend. Jason, what should I get you for your birthday? Kyler, this applies to you as well. Any ideas?
Yeah, I'm going to start off with this. The obvious answer is a broom. Jason has apparently never used a broom in his life.
Shovels.
Let me show you the correct broom sweeping motion. You're going to want to go both overhand. Now this is if it's a push broom.
Right.
You want to go both overhand. Now if you're using a sweep broom, you're going to want to sweep like that. You see? Are we getting the motion?
That's kind of
this is going to get you tired real fast and it's not effective. So a broom for Jason.
Please, to all my friends and family watching this show, do not purchase me a broom. First of all, everybody knows cash, the gift that keeps giving. I know me better than you know me, and even if you know me better than I know me,
but it's so
you know I like
impersonal.
cash. Other than that, socks, boxer briefs, I'm a size medium in both, a Sun Devil sweep in the Territorial Cup baseball, not enough, not a good gift.
How about
I have $4, Jason.
a seat at the CSL anchor desk?
Hey, I already got that. Too late.
Jason, these will go to you after the show. $4, count them.
Fantastic. All right, Brett, thanks very much. And again, great happy birthday to not just Jason, but also Oregon State quarterback Sean Mannion.
And Tim Duncan.
And yes, the big fundamental Tim Duncan. All right, now it's time where we make somebody's day very special. No, not Jason. No, not Sean Mannion. It's time for our Coach of the Week and Player of the Week CSL awards. Let's start with Coach of the Week. Now, Coach of the Week is a repeat winner. And while there weren't many options this week, not a lot of teams played, he does deserve this particular award. You saw him earlier in the show. It's Coach Chris Malone, who led ASU not only to a perfect 14-0 season, also defeated number 6 GCU last weekend for the in-state rivalry. Season is perfect. Coach Malone is the only perfect coach in town. We salute you.
Yeah, definitely. And a big salute to not just one, not just two. No, just two.
Just two.
2 players of the week this week. I'm the new guy. I'm mixing it up. That's kind of my thing. But hey, not a lot of choices this week. Once again, much like Coach of the Week. But let's throw up the graphic. Beating U of A, it's always good enough to earn some recognition. So in this case, Whitney Follett, Macy Gardner, the stars of the Sand this week. They took the important 5th and final match in the ASU Sand Volleyball Territorial Cup matchup. Won that match 2-1. The Witt twins, that's McKenna and Madison Witt, they are twins in fact, they gave them just about all they could handle, but the Sun Devil number 2 pairing, they held strong, secured half, 1/2, of a Territorial Cup point.
All right, so that's going to bring us, and congratulations to our CSL winners, that's going to bring us to a very special segment. It's the last show of the month, and that means top plays, not just of the week, Jason, but of the month. Let's hit it. The graphic of the month in there. Let's start it off with number 4. That's right, 4 top plays. ASU spring football, the man himself, Taylor Kelly, dropping back and long bombs away. He finds Jalen Strong. First and goal, Maroon.
Now they're strong, and then no, actually we make that joke far too often.
It's just
Finish
too
it
easy.
yourself, you know. ASU versus U of A baseball edition, Tempe, Arizona, April 9th. Morgan Ehrman on the mound, and that's a rough break. Drew Stankowicz's home run. All right, we'll recover. Nope. Colby Woodmansey. The lefty hits it to right. The righty hits it to left. They share it. Back-to-back jacks.
It's into the orange trees, folks, for the last time I'll ever say that. Number 2. Back to ASU spring football. Mike Berkovici, little trick play here. And sloop-de-doo, it's Kyle Middlebrooks. And that's as far as you're going, son. We've got 3 maroon tacklers.
Now, if Coach Todd Graham wants a high-octane offense, my suggestion, trick plays every down.
Flea flickers till you can't flick no more.
Exactly. Speaking of a guy passing it, not to who you'd expect, here we see ASU versus SDSU lacrosse. SDSU goalie Ryan Flaherty.
Nope.
Oh, whoops. He thought he'd relax on the lax field. Logan Quinn's having none of that. But
Hang on,
wait,
roll that back, roll that
there's
back.
more. We're on CSI right now. Enhance. Ryan Flaherty. He has
Womp, womp, womp,
he has such a hard job, guys. The lacrosse goals, they're pretty big. Those nets,
They are large.
they're kind of awkward. They're like me with a broom.
It's too easy to score. They're like you with the broom.
Difficult.
Awkward and too big to score. All right, that's going to do it. Listen, that's it for me. That's it for Jason for the semester. Farewell to our dearly departed friend, Trey Lanthier. Sad to have him here, but happy to have you, Jason, on your birthday, filling in. Sure, we'll shake hands.
We'll shake hands.
Very well done. Thank you. Very personal, hearty thanks to every member of our CSL crew in the behind the camera, in the production studio, obviously all of the on-air talent. I very much enjoyed working with you, and I've enjoyed working with you, America, and enjoying these Sun Devil sports. See you again next semester. We're back one week from now. Won't be me, won't be Jason.
Nope.
Hopefully, it'll be you. Good day.